Hello to all of our faithful listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Weird Things, where today we will be deconstructing performative maleism, a very contagious epidemic spreading today.
It's a very deadly disease.
Very,
And
very deadly. It has like a mortality rate of 99.9%.
yeah, I think it's like even 90.99 even.
Yeah,
No.
it's like some reports say it's over 100%.
Yeah, I've heard it's like there's a report that there's 300% likelihood.
Yeah, where it's
But
like it wiped out like an entire country, like so much so that the country doesn't even exist anymore. Like
yeah,
if you check any map, it's just not there.
yeah, it's called like Matcha Land or something.
Yeah, where like matcha flows through
Yeah,
like
it's where the rivers are
the
of
matcha
matcha. Yeah.
streams. Yeah, it's like yeah, but today we just call it Japan now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So where does performative maleism come from? Like, where's the very beginning starting?
Well, it comes from hopelessly single men who try so desperately to attract women that they take on attributes of a woman.
Mm-hmm. And like, why are they doing this? Like,
I
just
think it's due to just like, they just want the woman,
mm,
man longs for the woman.
man. Okay, so they basically want to like become a woman, sort of, in order to be with women.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
they try to like sit on the fence that separates men and women. But
mm,
as we know, the fence, belongs to the woman.
mm.
So thus sitting on the
the
fence turns you into a woman. Like there
the
is no
fence
on the
the
fence.
fence belongs to the woman. Can you explain that? There's like a border, like,
Yeah,
and it's
so
like that
imagine
border
this.
belongs to women.
When you are in your mother's womb
Okay.
and you are a fetus.
Yes, I remember that time very well.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
That'll be another episode. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
John tells his stories of the womb.
The incredible journey through the darkness of the womb.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways,
Mhm. Okay.
so yeah, when you are in the womb and you have XY chromosomes, that X chromosome actually forms first, and
Mm.
that's what draws the line.
Oh, and that line is the border, the fence, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Where it's like like women only have XX, so like the woman's side and the fence belong to them, whereas men
Mm.
have only one X, which means the closer you get to that wall, you just might as well be a woman at this point.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
so what are the signs of a performative male? What can you
Mm,
tell us
I
about
think
those?
that we could see that when they wear like these belts. I've heard that's a sign. Like
Yeah, the
these,
belt.
the
Trading
belt.
like the cowboy belt buckle for
Mm-hmm.
like a shoelace belt.
Yeah, like there's just certain belts that kind of give it away. There's like obviously matcha, drinking a lot of matcha. Like, I mean, I think that you can drink matcha and not be a performative male, but it's like it's very dangerous. I've heard there's like a 70% likelihood that
Mm,
if you drink matcha, you might become a performative male.
yeah, because it's like it's not really the matcha itself that makes you a performative male, it's why you're drinking it.
Oh, yeah, that
Because
makes
it's like
sense.
there are plenty of people out there that drink matcha just
Hmm.
purely for like they just love drinking, grass
Yeah,
trimmings.
yeah,
But then it's
the
the men
grass
that like
juice.
they're like, I hate this so much, but
Hmm.
my hatred for matcha is less than my desire for the woman.
Yes, that makes sense. It's like I think the qualification there is it's like if you're having matcha and you enjoy it, you're probably not a performative male. If you're having it just for the getting with the woman, it's like that's where it's like but you hate matcha, that's where the problem is. That's like the performative malehood.
Matcha is probably the number one sign of somebody being a performative male. The other sign is a man who like has avid like hatred towards like periods and wants
Oh,
to end them.
yeah, like if you ever see someone in a gym and they just like drop their equipment and they start hitting the ground, they're like, I hate like crying, like, oh my gosh, every month they have periods and like
Yeah,
or
like
like
mental breakdowns on a regular
yeah.
basis. Like they
Hmm.
cry. It's like you start to think that they are on their period, and it's because they've gone so close to the fence that they start feeling it like
Mm,
psychologically.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
They trick themselves into thinking that they are a woman and that they
Yeah. Yeah.
even though, like, obviously they aren't having a period, but they trick themselves into thinking it.
Mhm.
Like their stomach will grumble because they're hungry, and they'll think,
Mhm.
"Oh no, cramps."
Yeah. It's like they'll get the symptoms and like it'll happen like once a month or so. And
Yeah.
like yeah, so that's another thing to look out for. Another thing to look out for is those book bags. What are they? Like the bags that you
Oh
know what
yeah,
those are
like those
called?
little tote bags
Yeah,
and stuff.
the tote bags. They wear them and it's like you're like that doesn't look right, but it's like they just wear them. Like some I think maybe some guys can do it well, but like most part it's just like when it looks off, you're like, okay, that probably is the case.
Yeah, whenever I see a guy with one of those tote bags, I'm just like looking for a thing of matcha in his hand, and I just want to like grab the book bag from him and like look for a book called like Period Power in there,
Yeah,
which he probably reads on a daily
yeah.
basis.
That brings up another good point is feminist literature. So
Mm.
there's like if you ever see a man reading Little Women, it's like that's probably the case that he's a performative performative male.
So what can you tell us about the effects of being a performative male? Like what results of these negative
Hmm.
behaviors?
Well, I think one very clear result, and this is kind of like the opposite of what they're trying to do, is like it actually pushes women away from them. So like they're trying to get with women by like doing these things, but it actually kind of like comes across the wrong way and
Yeah.
like makes people not want to be around them.
Yeah, because women
Um,
are very like they're very like observational.
yeah, like,
Like they can see when somebody's a performative male and like
mhm,
they can smell the testosterone
mhm,
on you.
yeah, because the thing is, it's like what they don't realize is they're trying to change their identity to be a certain way, thinking that's what's gonna make them like be liked, but it's actually not. Like it's the opposite.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like women want to be with like strong man. They don't want to be with a woman that looks like a man because
Mhm,
that's all a performative
mhm.
male is. Is
Or
just
just
a
yeah,
woman essentially, a man that wants to be a woman.
or just even like somebody that is more like actually authentic of themselves than like changing their personality, like that
Exactly.
too.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, but men that do live this lifestyle, like it results in isolation, an identity crisis.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and the more and more they get to that fence, the more and more they become a woman. So
Hmm.
much like in a few studies, like men have started like growing breasts.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't looked into that, but I do think that's a possibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I once saw somebody that like they want like I fully expected them to have like a Hooters application.
Mm. Yeah, because it's like and that's another thing I've heard. Like this is kind of completely different, but like I've heard that a lot of the people in Hooters, like the actual employees, are actually the men that would go there, and it's like they just turned into them somehow.
Yeah,
You know?
because they go in there with their little tote bag and their matcha, like test how successful their performative maleism
Mm.
is, like
Hmm.
with the servers, like,
Yeah.
but obviously results in failure, and it leads them to actually become one of the servers. Like
Mm.
100% of servers at Hooters are just performative males.
Yeah. It's like they're like they just become them. Yeah. It's like that's how they get them, the employees there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after they're done with their shift, like they don't even go home. They live at Hooters now.
Hmm.
It's like that's their
Like
life.
they become a part of Hooter kind.
It's like they just
Yeah.
sort of go into some sort of suspended animation, like in the back room.
Yeah.
It's like where they get into the little
Because
pod and the
they.
pod fills up with
Mhm.
matcha and they just go to sleep.
Yeah, it fills up with matcha and then it like freezes and like they are like in
Hmm.
a float. Like think of like Luke Skywalker and like the back to tank in
Yeah,
Empire Strikes
yeah.
Back. It's like that basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's no difference there.
Yeah, because like you can live in that state for centuries
Hmm.
in that suspended matcha
Hmm.
animation.
Well, I've heard that there's some historical figures like that. Like Napoleon.
Oh,
Like he
definitely.
used to be like like a conqueror, and now it's like I've heard that he's like part of leading the whole like formative male revolution,
Hmm.
like because he was suspended in matcha.
Like
Yeah.
some say that he even is still. Like
Mhm.
archaeologists have tried looking for his matcha tank,
Yeah.
but like none have been successful yet.
Yeah.
But like
Mm.
the trail is there, like all these ancient manuscripts.
Yeah. And like the people who are like passing them around. And
Hmm.
like I've heard as well, like who's that guy? Marco Polo is also partially
Oh,
like
he
he
traveled
was.
so far and wide in
Mhm,
search of like the right amount of performative maleism so that he
mhm.
could still be a male. That's why
Yeah,
he traveled to Asia, to
that
Japan,
is.
the
Yeah.
origin of performative
And
males.
that's where he like got matcha for the first. Like he was the inventor of matcha, I've heard. Like
Yeah, he was.
because he tried to make like matcha a thing,
He
you know.
thought he found the cure to like singleness in
Hmm.
men. So that's why he brought the matcha recipe to Europe.
Yeah.
But then he
Hmm.
just doomed everybody.
Yeah. And I've heard he's the first one that was like put in a matcha tank, you know,
Hmm.
and like 'cause he was like, I could preserve myself for another century when
Yeah.
my plans unfold and I'm able to actually like do this in full.
Yeah.
You know?
Marco Polo is, at the end of the day, the god of performative males.
Yeah, he's definitely like a deity of
Hmm.
performing males.
He's ascended.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah,
because like every performative male is like the ultimate step in their like evolution is to become Marco Polo, essentially.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like as a kid you would play Marco Polo in swimming pools, but it's like that was just propaganda to make you wish the pool was filled with matcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like you're looking for Marco Polo, right? And it's like that's like an image of looking for Marco Polo in yourself, like becoming a performative male.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so should we switch topics to performative females because we have like some thoughts on that, but
Yeah,
is there
that's
any?
that's a good
Okay.
idea. Um, while the performative males are identified by their matcha and their tote bags and their
Hmm.
feminist literature,
Yeah.
performative females are identified through like their cat earphones and like
Hmm.
playing Fortnite and stuff.
Yeah, and like a lot of gamer girls and like, like they dye their hair like pink or something, like
Hmm.
those often will be like performative females. Like they're basically like the performative male is trying to be one of the girls in a way. It's like the performative females are trying to be one of the boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what happens with performative females that play so many video games is that they actually get sucked into the game quite literally. And that's why you see all these performative males who play video games pick the female skins because they
Mm,
subconsciously are attracted to the performative females.
yeah, yeah. That is true. And like yeah, like a lot of Twitch streamers will be like performative females because they're like, trying to be like part of this like gang,
Hmm.
especially like guys that watch those ones usually, I think. So it's like they're basically trying to be like one of the boys.
Exactly. It's like while a performative male tries to be a female, a performative female tries to be a male.
Hmm.
But like rather than a male becoming a woman, like because he has that XY, since a woman
Hmm.
only has XX, she's unable to, and the most she can do is become a video game character.
Mm. And one of the things that is different between performative males and performative females is like most performative like males are just kind of like unaccepted, you know? But like performative females can be more like for some reason like a lot of like if you ever go on a game and like there's a chat on it and somebody's like a girl or has like a girl username, everybody's gonna be like, oh my gosh, girl, girl, and be like, you want to be my girlfriend, stuff like that. So it's like they're actually accepted usually by like males, whereas like performative males aren't really accepted as
Exactly.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
think at this point in our conversation, we should distinguish between a performative female and a pick me girl, because that
okay.
is there's a thin line that separates the two, and a lot of people cross them.
Yeah. And I've heard you're an expert on this subject, so if you want to go ahead and talk about. Yeah, like a little known fact about you, you actually have a doctorate in gender studies.
Oh,
Oh wait.
yes. Yeah, I earned my PhD from Yale in gender studies. I wrote my dissertation on the difference between performative females and pick me girls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to read like it's like 500 pages. I've been trying to like I'm like almost through it, so
Yeah, just wait till volume 2 comes out.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's still lots more to say on this issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, pick me girls like they distinguish themselves from performative females because pick me girls is mostly with like their friend group of other girls.
Hmm.
Like they'd be like, "Oh, I'm not pretty," like because they just want to hear, "Oh, you are pretty" and stuff.
Hmm.
And while pick me girls often do become performative females because their friends, like feed into their pick me energy.
Mm.
There is still a difference between the two.
Okay. Yeah. And that's like the difference is basically the pick me girls are more like just kind of looking for attention in that rather than being like, oh, I'm gonna like go and try to be liked by all the guys,
Yeah,
right?
is like they just want the validation without really the action, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Okay.
Although some pick me girls do like engage with men, and like you see this in things like playing hard to get, for example.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
pick me energy.
Yeah. Like, what would you say is the main difference between like a pick me girl being like trying to get attention from guys versus like the performative female, like in terms of like with guys and stuff?
Fantastic question. So a performative female is more subtle in her ways of trying to like be one of the boys, like we were saying earlier. It's like a desire to like be a boy while still being a girl. But
Mm-hmm.
a pick me girl still remains well into like the girl side of the fence and leans more into her like feminine energies
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to be something that she's not.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she'll like flip her hair or she'll like touch your arm or something and then like then just call you a friend.
Hmm. They're kind of like, oh my gosh, like they're fishing for compliments. They're like a
Exactly.
fisher. Yeah.
It's like they want the guys to chase them, whereas performative females do the chasing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Would you say it's like opposite, or well, I don't know. Would you say that for performative males, they want to be more like based, or do they want to do that like with attention?
That's another really good question. So I think that the performative males, like this is a whole chapter in my book,
Oh yeah.
but performative males, they feminize themselves to get the females to chase them.
Oh. Hmm. Is it kind of like, oh, I'm not like the other guys, so
Yeah.
like,
Like I'm not like those other guys that,
mm,
lift weights in the gym. Like,
mm.
I'm a twink, so,
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a pick me girl is one of the people that's like, I'm not like the other girls,
yes.
and then the performative female is kind of like, oh, like I'm not like the other girls, but I'm more like per the more like a guy in that way, whatever. Like trying to whatever. And then the performative males are like the ones that want to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
that's.
performative males, they say that they're not like the other guys. Performative females say they are like the other guys.
Mhm.
And then pick me girls say they're not like the other girls.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I guess that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that then, like, when doing the different activities of being like, because like it's not necessarily like there's a certain rules that it's like, oh, you have to do this and have to do this or else you'll become a performative male or performative female. But like, is it more like, is there a danger that you may end up becoming one if you do different things? Like,
I think the most dangerous performative males are the ones that don't realize they're performative males.
mm, yeah,
And it's like by the time they know it, they're working at Hooters and it's too late.
yeah. The next thing you know, it's like the matcha tanks for centuries.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very sad. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope you had fun and you learned a lot of things. And I hope you'll join us for next time. I hope you learned a lot about performative males and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and share with all your friends. And if you know a performative male or pick me girl or performative female, please share them this episode and hopefully they can correct the course before they're living in a matcha tank.
Exactly. All right. See you later.